Right, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to James Redmond TV. Liverpool have just drew 0-0 with Newcastle. And I'm just I'm not in a mood to where I'm going to be shouting or nothing, because it's not like one of them where I'm heavily disappointed about the performance or whatnot. Obviously, the finishing really needs to be improved. Obviously, I put that in the title because that's just a fact. We need to start getting better at taking chances. It's just, if you want to go on and win a league, you've got to be taking your chances better. And don't get me wrong, even though Salah has had a great season, he could score many more goals. It's the argument we've had with him for a long, long time. And in fact, I'll get more into it as the video goes on. But we have got a sponsor. I do want to thank the sponsor of this video, In One Football. Here we go. Let's run the ad. Oh, wait, why isn't it running? No.
Today's video is brought to you by One Football. Thank you very much to them for sponsoring this video, and make sure that you go over in the top link of the description and download their app. It is fantastic, people. I didn't know there were so many countries, so many leagues for you to go and view information from. Latest news, latest transfers. You can also see all the latest updates and live scores when your team is playing. Yes, you can choose your preferred team. So for my team, it's Liverpool. You can see all the latest information on them. But not only that, people, it doesn't only go that far. You can go and see anything to do with teams in the Premier League, anything to do with teams in the Champions League, Europa League, any team across Europe, any team across the world. You can go and have a look and see how they're doing in their leagues and any news based on what their team is going through. Make sure that you download the One Football app, people. It is fantastic. And obviously, I want to thank them once more for supporting this channel. Make sure you go and support them because they support us massively. One massive big shout out to One Football again. And yeah, top link in the description, people. Thank you very much.
Right, so that make sure that you go and download the One Football app. It is brilliant. I'm going to start trying to do a way where I don't have to put the same clip in every video soon, by the way. Obviously, editing needs to get better, so that's one thing that will improve on in the future. But no, people, we need to talk about that game. We need to talk about the title race. We need to talk about Liverpool. I think this is my opinion, and I will break down the game in a second, but it's like, in my opinion, I think Liverpool need to just approach games differently now. That's the only way I feel like we can go forward and we can be comfortable with going away to games like a Newcastle or a Brighton or a Fulham, and we can actually get some points, because recently we haven't been getting points, and it's not been due to bad performances. We're playing better than these teams. Why? Because we're better than them. But it's like, it's one of them things now where it's got to a point where we're not taking our chances with a mixture of a little bit of being unlucky, but we could kill the game off. Crystal Palace, we killed the game off. That's why we finished that game finito, 30 seconds, and we were done. We were done. Minamino got a goal, someone else got a goal, bam, 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 all clicked together. And it's like, when we get them goals early, we can end the game and we can go forwards with that, and we can march forward and we can get the 3 points. Because like, the opposition gives up. It's like, we're 2-0 down. It's like even if we attack, we're just going to get torn apart. But it's now, teams now know, if we can come, we can set up 5 at the back, we can play defensive. And this is why I'm not really that confident about like a game like United or games coming further. Because it's one of them things now, teams know how to set up against Liverpool. They know go 5 at the back. They know we'll try and hit them on the break, and we'll actually have a good chance of doing so. Because it's like they being us, Liverpool, they need about 6 or 7 chances to go ahead and get a goal. Because that's what Liverpool's turned into, at least in recent weeks. Feel free to disagree. Maybe I'm being harsh, but it's one of them things like, we could have won every game this season, bar Aston Villa or anything. We could have won every game this season if we took our chances. Maybe even Fulham as well. There's probably 1 or 2 games that I'm missing out, but you get the point that I'm trying to make. We've had how many draws now? Please remind me in the chat, but about 4 or 5 draws. And now it's got to a point where, and it's not against good teams. We got past Arsenal, which at the time was a big game. Chelsea, got at the time, big game. You know, we got past them. Who else did we get past? Got a draw against City. Beat Spurs. That was massive. How big was that win against Spurs? But it's like now, the points where you think Liverpool automatic, definitely. Even the other night, we're against West Brom at Anfield, and it weren't that we were out tactic in that game. Big Sam, don't get me wrong, he got it right. His tactics were perfectly set up because look at the result that he got. But we could have killed that game earlier on. And it's like today, don't get me wrong, I thought Newcastle actually played really well. I thought they had a great approach. Defensively, they were fantastic. That save from Darlow in the first half with Salah, but then the saves he followed up on and making that in the second half. And I've missed the super chat, by the way. I've actually just gone and missed the super chat. Oh, I'm so sorry, mate. I saw it literally in the top corner and rambled for too long. Whoever sent that super chat, please rewrite your super chat. I'm not saying send another one, but rewrite your super chat. Just say miss super chat in the comment that you said so I can reread it, because I don't want to miss that super chat, mate. And same with anyone who sends a super chat. But thank you very much for that, because I did see it. Anyway, though, what actually I saw what the super chat mentions. It's just I wanted to talk about it a bit later on. I didn't know it was going to take it away or not, and so. What the super chat mentions was, as I think he said, he was a Chelsea fan and he thinks Manchester United are now in the title race. And I think that's a fair shout because all Liverpool need to be more concerned about United in the title race. And I think that's a fair shout for many reasons because, one, United are getting results. Even the other night, they got the 93rd winner. Why will Liverpool always this was it, I think. This was it. Yeah. Liverpool being unable to win against relegation contenders. Name a more iconic duo, absolutely finished club. I'm not sure if that was it. I think people are taking the piss. Yeah, this was it. From Ross United. So we said, just be real, Man United are in the title race from a Chelsea fan and have 2 games in hand. If they win both of them, they're in the title race. They're not going to lie. But the thing is, Ross United, you're right. But another thing that you're right about is they're already in the title race. Like, that's one thing people need to get clear. And we've known this for a couple of weeks now. And with Liverpool dropping points in games like this, Fulham, Brighton, they are getting more and more into that title race. Why? Because they've got a fire under them. They've got that underdog factor. Don't get me wrong, I don't think they will win the title race, but there's quite a few things that come into that will influence my mind. Will Liverpool go out and get a centre-back in January? It's evident. This is my opinion on that, Phillips, and we will do player ratings and whatnot in a bit. Right now, I just want to get my overall feelings on the game, on the title race, because that's a big thing, and we've got to start talking about it, because Liverpool could be running away with this league. Look, the points that we've dropped, we could be running away. We've got the points that we've needed to against the bigger sides, but when it came against these smaller sides, we've just struggled a hell of a lot more. There's been so much less control, and now it's just at a point where we need to win our next few games. They are all must-wins because the more points we start to drop, and Man United's morale is at an all-time high. Them players are fighting for their manager. Like I said, they've just got a fire underneath them that we can't underestimate them. And that game against United is just as big, if not way bigger, than the Tottenham game we've just had. But I don't want to ramble too much about all that. Let me read some of the comments. We need Thiago. Don't get me wrong, Mustafa. That is a massive addition to the Liverpool team. I will tell you that, and I will tell you that for free. Thiago being back, that's a big difference, because even today, to take one positive, the fact that we started that game with Gini and Thiago on the bench, and I get it was for rotation, it made sense, but it made me realise and it made me sit back. Wow, we've actually got good squads there. Like in the midfield, we've got a Curtis Jones, got a James Milner, we've got all these players that can come in. James Milner, he can play week in, week out in the Premier League. It's just a shame that he's playing for the league leaders and he's got to play with people like Hendo Nino. By the way, didn't have a great game today, so I'm not going to bang on about him, but, you know, obviously that's his name. Gini Wijnaldum, a bunch of other players as well. So it's kind of that was one good thing that I could say that we can take away from the game. But that being said, we'll get into player ratings because it's another one of them where we just can't be excited, we can't be amazed. Make sure that you're getting involved in the comments as well if you do have any ratings, any opinions on the game. Leave them in the comments down below or in the live chat as we speak. Anyway, in goal, Alisson. I thought he had a sound game, thought he made a few good saves, especially in the second half. He made a massive save. I think it was Clark's header, or was it Shah's header? I can't really remember. Either way, it was important. We needed Alisson. As always, he's done everything just sound. A few shaky moments on the ball, but that's just what Alisson does. He takes the piss. He's just that good. And he really makes mistakes when he does them little, them short passes and whatnot. He really makes mistakes. So I'll give I'll give Alisson a solid 8, mate. I thought he was absolutely sound. And bloody hell, even United fans are sending Zoe in. Listen, I appreciate the Zoe that you're sending, but it's like 21 is coming. I'd rather not read that out loud. You know what I'm saying? I know I just did, so you've half just made me look like a fool. I look like a fool anyway. Look, the Barnet, that's one thing that makes me look like a fool. Listen to me. That's another thing that makes me sort of look like a fool. I'm just rambling now, but thank you for the super chat. So yeah, Alisson, I'm going to give an 8. Let me know if you agree. Robertson, obviously, had that injury in the first half, carries on like a warrior. Why? Because he's boss. I like Robbo today. Thought he was sound. Thought he added a lot to the game. Thought offensively he was good. Didn't really get caught out that often. Do you know what I mean? He just done what Robbo does best. And that's why I love Andrew Robertson, because he's always consistent. Even in games that we've got whitewashed, he's been good. He's been solid. Do you know what I'm saying? So I like Andrew Robertson. I'm going to give him a 7.5 today. I'm not saying it was one of his better games, but it was just sound. You know what you get from Robbo. Do you know what I mean? I can't really think of an example from the top of my head because I'm not really in a funny mood, mate. I'm not that funny as it is, even when I am in a funny mood. But when I'm in like a depressed mood, I've got no jokes. I've got no jokes anyway. I'm going to give a 7.5 to Robbo. Trent on the right back position. Again, just one of his more better performances, but he still never really stood out. He still weren't rowing the boat. He still weren't getting as involved as he usually does. Don't get me wrong, that pass in the first half. Did you see the pass in the first half from Trent Alexander-Arnold into Sadio Mane? Unreal. That is what Trent does. That shows that he is another level to a lot of centre-backs. But then you see him defend and you see him whatnot. And he never got caught out much, but he still got caught out a couple of times where he was a bit too high up the pitch. And I know that's how he plays, and I know that's what he gets told to do. But you can still see he's got a lot of learning to do, and he's still very young, and he has a big weight on his shoulders. Today, I'll give him a 7, because, like I said, it weren't one of his worst performances, but it's also not what we know Trent can do. Centre backs, Nat Phillips and Fabinho. This is a mad one, because I thought both of them weren't terrible, but I don't think you can say they were perfect. Fabinho thought was composed in a lot of situations, as he always is. Thought he made a few good tactical decisions, like that foul. Who was it on? I think it was on Redmond in the second half, midway through the second half. And I liked it because if obviously Redmond jumps past him, then he's gone and Newcastle can go and do whatever. So happy about that. Nat Phillips was a bit reckless, very vicious, very aggressive, but I actually like that. Let me tell you why. Because Liverpool this season have been nothing but pussies because they're not going in for tackles. Did you see what they said about when? What did the commentators say? I think we've got 5 yellow cards this season. Do you know how stupid that is? I remember we played against Everton and we got smacked up by Everton, mate. We got booted. Yeah, what's this super chat here by Richard? I don't want to miss any super chats, but why do you all just miss them? Right, here's a super chat from Richard. Hi, Hammers. Going on, fella. Love the way that's my new name, by the way. Belter. Hammers Redmond. I know the Redmond probably won't stick. We'll just go with Hammers. Anyway, players ranked no more than a 7 tonight. IMO. Maybe Alisson deserved an 8 top, lads. Well, yeah, I'm on to the centre-backs now, and I've not given any higher than an 8, and that player was to Alisson. That 8 did go to Alisson. So, yeah, I agree with you so far, Richard. Listen, I don't really see myself giving much higher than an 8 tonight myself. I think I've probably gave my highest rating without being a spoiler, but can you really be surprised? Alisson was the only one who really done his job. Robbo was sound, which is why I gave him a 7.5. Trent was sound, which is why I gave him a 7. Fabinho and Nat Phillips, I'll give Fabinho a 7 and I'll give Nat Phillips a 6.5. But I didn't think Nat Phillips was terrible. Don't get that confused. I just don't think he's the complete centre-back for Liverpool. That's it. He cannot go in that team week in, week out. He will get caught out. He's better in the air. And I think today we saw that against someone like Callum Wilson, who can actually run at you, but is still strong. It can cause him problems. So I don't really feel that comfortable with him there. But same with Reece Williams. Not because they're shit, because they're inexperienced. You can't expect them to do well straight away. So it's one of them things. So yeah, 6.5 for Nat Phillips, 7 for Fabinho. Midfield, we'll do the subs as well, but we'll go with the start and midfield. You know what? I'm going to go with Milner, because I actually liked Milner today, and people might disagree. I won't give him an 8, but I'll give him a 7.5 because I thought he'd come in and he does what James Milner does. Kind of like Robbo. You know what you're getting. You know he's going to be level-headed. You know he's going to be composed. You know he's going to be able to intercept the game. He's going to be able to win your back possession. He created a few nice chances from winning the ball back as well. He was very, very good today, I thought, James Milner, with the fact he doesn't play consistently as well. He's someone who can play in the Premier League week in, week out. He is a different level in terms of how important he is to the squad, not the starting 11, the squad. He's massive. And it gave a chance for Gini to rest, and he filled in very, very well. So I'm going to say a 7.5 for Milner. I was going to edge an 8, but I think it's difficult to give him a higher rating than Alisson. Curtis Jones, one of his more sloppier performances, I'm not going to lie, not based on the ability, don't get me wrong, he never really lost the ball much or whatnot. It weren't really that. It was just he weren't creating much. When he did get the ball, his first touch was a little bit off at times. And some of the passes that he made were questionable. He weren't as positive going forward as he usually is. He weren't as confident, and it's that confidence that gets him through games and makes us look at Curtis Jones and go, yeah, he's a special player, and he is a special player. Let's not get that disputed. He's boss, but we've also just got to be aware, and we've got to take in, he has still got to learn on the job and whatnot. So I'll give him a 6 today because I didn't think he was great. I'm not going to lie. Jordan Henderson, one of his worst performances in a while for me. And I'm not going to say he was bad, and I know like I'm kind of a meme when it comes to talking about Jordan Henderson, which is fine. I talk about him from what I see, not only on the eye test, but also what I feel is very important in a captain and what I want in a captain. And everything that he's done over the 3 years and consistency-wise. And, you know, I think this is probably a better performance for Jordan Henderson when he was shit a few years ago, but it's certainly one of his worst performances now that he set the bar higher for himself. And he weren't terrible, but he certainly weren't great today. I'm not going to lie. And I already see people laughing in the chat. And fair enough, because Rance gives me all the time about Hendo expressions does. Listen, mate, he's my captain, no doubt about it. When I see his hairy armpits lifting whatever trophy, it's a glorious sight to see. That being said, today he didn't read the game as well as he usually does. Even look back at his game against Crystal Palace, how well he read that game, the amount of times he won the ball back. Everything that he does for this team's massive, but today it just weren't as to the level as we usually see. So I'm going to give Jordan Henderson a 6.5. Don't think he was fantastic, not going to lie. But I don't think he was terrible at the same time. I've always got to throw that in about Hendo. He weren't terrible though, you know what I mean? Anyway, the front three. Now, this is one that, this is where I've got the issue. It's the front three. And again, I do not want to dispute that Newcastle were fantastic defensively today. Oh my day. Who was there at the back line? Yedlin, Fernandez, Shah, Clark and Richie all had solid games. But the man of the match, that you've got to give it to Darlow. He was fantastic. He's got to be now in contention for that England squad. And I'm not one to usually jump out of a Liverpool conversation, but Darlow has come into this Newcastle team. I don't know how he's done in previous games, but today he just looked like a really good shot stopper, really good leader, very good vocally to the players in terms of setting them out and, you know, really staying focused. Because Liverpool, especially in the end period, really started getting a few good chances. And we got a few, Firmino had a few good chances, Salah did. Another day they score, and it's not as bad as a performance. But that was the problem. They didn't score, but it was because of Darlow's well-doing. But I do still have issues about the attack, and we'll talk about that now. But first off, we've got a super chat from Ryan saying, all right, James, Redmondinho. Oh my God, you said Redmondinho. You're a legend. Lads, I need you in your best Irish accent to tell me these silly people saying Klopp out to give their heads a wobble. Listen, Ryan Turner, I will do this in an Irish accent, and I will tell them to the bottom of my heart that they are silly. And Ryan, you need to start speaking to new people, because whoever is saying that are clearly on crack and clearly don't have a sense of direction in life that they really want to go on and they want to achieve. So Ryan, I agree that people should not be saying that, but I will offer this advice to you that you should not be consuming that nonsense. So there you go. I hope that was all right, Brian. It's not usually always on par, but I thought that one was quite decent. It flown quite well. Yeah, it flown quite well. It's literally, mate, when I speak in an Irish accent, I can get in a good mood, but we played shit. So it's one of them. Anyway, who am I going to rate first? We'll talk about the best player in the world, and Sadio Mane. People can come at me and say what they want about that. You know what I'm known for, man, so don't fuck with me, all right? So Mane, what are we going to say about him? He's just not been... Over the past couple of games, he's obviously chipped in with goals, and, you know, I thought he did half get caught out in the second half by Furlong against West Brom. Thought he had a few explosions that looked sound, but I didn't think he was great. Made a few chances, created a few chances. But other than that, can you really give him much higher than a 6.5? I don't want to sound too harsh, but I also feel like that's a fair enough rating. I don't think I'm being too harsh. Let me know in the live chat if you think I am being too harsh. I've gave him that based on what I know he can do. And he didn't really have much output today. We never scored. You know what I mean? Never got an assist. He never scored. Don't know how many clear-cut chances he really had in the game. He might have had one or two, but they weren't anything major. I think the closest chance he had was actually when, obviously, do you know them few scuffles where it was like on nearly over the line, but the defenders ended up getting it away? I think that was the closest chance he had to scoring. But his tracking back was sound as usual. Maybe I'll give him a 7, but I also don't want to come across because it's like Sadio Mane. I do feel like he can do much better than that, so I'm going to stick with me 6.5. And I'm not going to be on the fence. Anyway, we have got 5 more players to rate, and then we will wrap up this instant match reaction. Make sure that you leave a like as well, people. Thank you very much for all the support. We've got 400, we've got nearly 500 people in here. You are taking the piss, but leave a like, leave a subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, if you want to be here, and drowning my downfalls, that's absolutely fine. Just make sure you subscribe while you're doing it. Do you know what I mean? Nah, I do appreciate all the support, though. Everyone's been subscribing over the past few days. It's been mad. Anyway, I'll see if you're still all here when we're winning. If we start winning, we better start winning again soon. Anyway, let me talk about Bobby Firmino, because I'll save Salah for last, because I feel like that has the biggest outburst for Liverpool fans. So, Bobby Firmino, I still think he's in great form, much better form than what he was at the start of the season. Probably the best of the three attackers. Let me know if you disagree. But at the same time, I don't think he had a good first half. It took him a good while to get into the game, whereas at least Mane and Salah were trying things early on. Do you hear what I'm saying? Firmino, he has chances. He even had that great chance in the 87th minute against West Brom, nearly scored. Great save from Johnston. Again, there was good saves today that stopped us, but even Firmino got stopped once or twice. He had a few good chances. It's just one of them. He needs to get better with his finishing. That's just how it is. And it's like he's getting in the positions. And to be fair, actually, now thinking about it, I don't think he had that good of a game. And me just saying he was the best attacker, I don't know if he was. Because, again, he just took a while to get into it. And when he got good chances, that header, he should be doing better with that header. The one that he's just gone directly at Darlow. Stupid. Like, if you're a proper striker, you know that you need to get that more away. And it's a good, goes over him so he can get more precision on the header. It's not a hard header to make. So, Firmino's just not a finisher. That's just the way it is. I don't dispute him being in the team, just not as a number 9. So I'm going to say a 7 for Firmino. And then Salah, I think people were quite harsh on Salah, and I'm not going to start defending Salah and saying he was boss. Thought he was poor myself. But one thing that I just can't kind of stick with is why Klopp took him off in the 91st minute. Now, this obviously there was 4 minutes added on. And he brought him off for Shaqiri. And people said to me on Twitter, because I put a tweet out saying, like, Salah, why did Klopp bring off Salah? Unless he was injured, that makes no sense. And people said, well, because he was dog shit and has been for the past 2 games. Fair point, absolutely correct, not disputing that. The only thing I'm going to offer to you, and I'll give you this and you can take it if you so wish. I just think Salah, if you leave him on the pitch, I'm not saying bringing on Shaqiri was the wrong decision, but I just think you brought off the wrong player. It's about in them moments when you're 0-0 against Newcastle. Even though he's been dog shit, it's one of them. You've got to give yourself the best possible chance. And just my opinion, I think if you take off a Shaqiri for a more defensive player, maybe a Hendo who ain't having a good game today, then you give yourself the best possible chance of winning that game. Now, yes, you become more susceptible at the back, but we need to get 3 points. We needed the 3 points today. And it's about those moments like Man United against Wolves, like what Liverpool have had in many, many different seasons, many moments of where we've came back in the late minutes, because that's what we do. And we know how important these points are to get. Jurgen Klopp should have been a bit more ballsy, in my opinion, and brought on Shaqiri for a more defensive player like a Hendo and leave Salah on, because it's about giving yourself the best possible chance. He might have not scored, but he might have created a goal. And you can't say that I'm wrong there, because he was still creating things today. His first touch was off today. His dribbling weren't great. Running at men weren't fantastic. There was many things that weren't good about Salah's performance. So don't think that I'm sitting on the fence about Mo Salah. I didn't think he was good today. Didn't think any of the front three was good. Thought the midfield was average. Thought the defence was average. That's why I've only gave Alisson an 8. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm not being kind to Salah. I'm just saying I will see it. You give yourself the best possible chance when you leave your top goal scorer on the pitch, when you need 3 points, by the way. That's what I'm trying to say. So when it comes to Mo Salah, I'm going to give him a 6.5. Don't think he played that well. Don't think he took his chances, but I do think he should have been left on to at least, like I said, just give us the best chance. As for the subs, Gini Wijnaldum came on first. Then Thiago, then Shaqiri. So Gini Wijnaldum, I'm not going to lie, I didn't really notice him too much when he came on, so I'll just give him a 6. Thiago, obviously, I was made up when he came on. It's so good to see Thiago back. Do you know what? Let's end this video on a fucking positive. Let's do this. Thiago! Hey, you see the expressions? Thiago Alcantara! Woo! Thiago! Thiago Alcantara! Ready for my own version? Thiago Alcantara. Here we go now. Thiago. He's better than Rodriguez, without no doubt. Just because at the start of the season, Everton fans were creating smoke about James Rodriguez. James Rodriguez. I'm James. He's James. Rodriguez being better than Thiago. Shut your mouth, blood. Anyway, Thiago, I'm going to give him a 10. Why? Because it's my channel and I can. Never done much, but you know, he can win a header. Hey, little Spudhead can win a header. You can't say he can't, because Thiago today, mate, he came on and he added a little bit of something to the team. Listen, he obviously weren't a 10, but he was. I'm saying he was a 10. I'm going with it. I'm running with it. I am running with it. The people are saying, what the fuck? This is being clipped. I know, and I'm stupid, but it is what it is. I've committed myself to it. I'm going to give him an 11. Anyway, Shaqiri, no, what did Shaqiri do? Can you just tell me something that Shaqiri did? Because I can't remember, but I'll give him a 6. Right, people, so that's the player ratings done. Let me know if there's anything else in the chat that you want me to talk about. I want to actually read through a few of your comments. If so, like I said, make sure you leave a like and all that good stuff. This has been a good show. A long instant match reaction as well. People are actually getting involved in the chat. Listen, mate, one thing that I wanted to address to United fans as well, because I know you're getting confidence and you know, you start, it's like that kid, you know, starts going to the gym and they feel a bit of muscle. Like Man United, they used to be on steroids, do you know what I mean? Like they used to be Brock Lesnar. Like, let's do it in UFC terms. So they're Brock Lesnar, but now they've turned into a fat Brock Lesnar. Do you know one who's lost a lot of their muscle and lost a lot of their confidence? Just lost a lot of their image, in a sense. Still massive, like Brock Lesnar. Still massive, still wouldn't want to fuck with him. But he's not the Brock Lesnar of old. Do you get what I mean? The point that I'm leading to is, Brock Lesnar, if he came back and took the same steroids, back with the Triple H, by the way, if he came back and took them steroids, he would get caught by USADA. USADA being the people who come and test you and test for drugs and whatnot. You are stepping in with a different level now, mate. And I understand Liverpool have been dropping points and whatnot, but if you think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can step in that tyre, 1 foot in, nothing but shots, nothing but body blows and right hooks and left hooks, if you think he can go into that tyre with the one, the only, the almighty Jurgen Klopp, who, yes, by the way, has made a few questionable decisions recently, but is still the best manager in the world. If you think he can last there till the end of the season with my manager, then I feel sorry for you, because you're a lot more blind than what you think. That fight will only get you so far. And yes, I might be slightly salty right now, but I do not give two shiny shites, simply for the reason that I actually sincerely believe that we have more of a chance in this league than you do. That being said, this is where I go back to Liverpool fan mode and I talk to Liverpool fans. We need to buy a centre-back. Can't stress it enough. We need to buy a centre-back. It's a must. And yeah, it's one of them. Expressions left the chat. Listen, if Expressions left the chat, I'm glad I never saw his comment. I'm glad. I'll try and find it. We'll see what if he was chatting shit. But listen, if he did leave the chat, I'm glad I didn't see his comment, to be deadly honest, because let's be honest, he would have just been there like, yo, fam, jeez, you dropped points, fam. Stevie Bruce is on the wheel, fam. Like, I can't be arsed with any of that bollocks. So, again, do not mind. But make sure that you're on Expressions' channel for the next episode of what will be Just No Brother. Make sure you're there. Make sure you're square every Monday. It was 6 last time, so I'll talk to him to see if it'll be 6 again. But anyway, people, I'm going to end the match reaction there and leave a like, subscribe, and I'll